Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Wednesday, kind of the slow days of August here. It seems like not much news as far as miners are concerned. Even Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin's kind of flat more or less, not doing much. Kind of a little overwhelming or underwhelming or either or. It's kind of a little depressing, right? Bitcoin's not doing much. Like Sarmelon said in the comments here, Bitcoin is still pretty much at the same price it was 9 months ago. So yeah, Bitcoin's been taken over by the big guys here, I think, which then again could lead us into a extended cycle with Bitcoin here. Potentially, we'll see. I'm still thinking that's gonna be the case here, but we got obviously Bitcoin to talk about, miners as well. IREN's got their quarterly results or fiscal year-end results tomorrow after the close of the markets. That's gonna be interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit here. We'll take a look at the miners as well on their stock performance on different time spans as well, going all the way back to the bottom that we bottomed out back in December of 2022, January 2023. And we'll get into Q&A here, so not much going on here. We'll get through it all as always, but you guys know the drill here, not financial advice for trade only. Please do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into what's going on here with Bitcoin and everything else here. So here is Bitcoin right now. We can see the Bitcoin finished out the day in the red here today. We were down just a little bit, 0.48%. We are still kind of battling with the 100 SMA as it looks like right now. Let me see here on the 15-minute chart if things look any better for us right now. On the 15-minute chart here, let me see here. Just this was back. Well, this was Wednesday. It's today. Yeah. Let's see here. We were at a peak here of 71 here. We were at a peak prior to this point as well. Price was at that point, if we look at it here, was actually higher. So we're still kind of in no man's land as far as direction-wise in Bitcoin here, it looks like. We don't know which way we want to go right now. It's kind of flat here. It might be flat for the rest of the end of the month here, unfortunately. I was hoping for at least a slightly green month here in August, but we'll take a look at the monthly chart here in a second for Bitcoin here. It might actually be in the red here. We'll see. Okay, so Bitcoin was down in the red today. Ended up in the red a little bit here. Ethereum, on the other hand, was also red just a little bit as well. Was down 2% as on that one. Markets were actually in the green here. Dow Jones was up. Nasdaq was up. S&P was up. The Russell 2000 was up also. Miners were kind of mixed here. Kind of a low day overall. Right? Bitfarms was up at least 3% here, so that's at least partially good there. BitDeer was up 4.63%. That one did get up to the 200 SMA line there, and it kind of went below it a little bit, or got up to it, got rejected, came back down. Kango was up just a little bit, 0.81. Cypher was up, down 1.83%. Cleanspark was also down 1.03%. CORZ was up 1.14%. Hive was up 3.16%. This one's having a nice little rally here as they've been stacking more machines in and growing their hash rate here. So that's kind of nice to see that they're getting some love here. Hut 8 was up 1.7%. This one's also had a pretty nice run up here recently. IREN was actually down today, 2.76%. A slight correction probably happening here in this one prior to earnings tomorrow. We'll see what the earnings are like tomorrow. Like I said, I think they will be EPS positive. I'm pretty certain of that. The big question on my mind is, what are they going to report as far as customer or customers for HPC-AI, right? What's the latest update on that? That will be a big tell, I think. And what's their direction going forward? Are they going to continue to just buy GPUs and put them into their facilities, or are they how far along are they on the talks with the customer potentially, if there's a customer, right? So we'll be listening to that conference call tomorrow for sure. Mara was up a little bit, 0.06%. Riot was down 1.02%. Wolf was down 1.19%. MicroStrategy was down 2.6%. Galaxy was down 1.58%. Some of the other ones here were kind of mixed here. You can see that on a list here. I'm not going to go through them all. Miners were down for the most part except for DMG here. That one was up a little bit, 1.26%. Bitcoin ETF miners for Bitcoin miner ETFs were down for the most part except for BKCH. That one was up a little bit. And then the Ethereum Treasury holding companies here were all down. BMNR was down 7.85%. That one might be bouncing off the 50-day SMA here. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. It bounced back over here, so maybe it does bounce off of here. We'll see. BitDigital was down 2.49%. BTCS was down 3.18%. Game was down 2.58%. And SBET was down 3.26%. Bitcoin dominance here, let's see here for today, kind of increased a little bit here, 0.17%. Nothing major there. And then how are the miners doing here after hours right now? BitDeer is down 2.36%. Bitfarms is down 1.49%. Kango is down just a little bit, 0.21%. Cypher is up a little bit, 0.14%. Cleanspark's down a little bit more here, down 0.31%. CORZ Scientific is down 1.13%. Hive is now down 2.7%. Hut 8 down 1.86%. IREN down just barely anything there, 0.29%. Mara is down right now 0.25%. Riot is down 1.96%. And TeraWolf is down 1.64% after hours, basically, or pre-market hours, whatever you want to call it. Looking at Bitcoin here, for the month of August here, we are down 3.54%, which isn't great. I was hoping we're going to have a green month here. Historically, we would have, like in 2021, which we had a nice bull run there, along with 2017, 2013. But looking at this table here, we can see that we've only had really 4 green months in August out of 13 months, including the one that we're in right now. So the odds were maybe not in our favor at that point. So if we're down 3-4% by the end of the month here, it's not the end of the world. September, historically, also kind of mixed here, right? It's only been green here 4 times out of 13 months coming up as well. So that one's going to be a toss-up as far as whether we go green. I think if we do get the Fed lowering interest rates, that might be a good catalyst for Bitcoin to go up higher. We'll see. But then October, historically, has been a gangbuster month here. We've only had 2 months red out of 13 coming up here. So I'm almost willing to bet that we're going to be green in October here. September is a wash. I mean, it's going to be hard to tell, but we'll see. And then November has been also pretty good for us. We've only had 4 months out of 13 that were in the red here. The rest were in the green here. So that's looking pretty good here, at least historically. We'll see if that trend continues going forward or not for us. Bitcoin ETF inflows here. Yesterday, we obviously had positive inflows. BlackRock bought in 45.3 million there. Today, we were positive as well without BlackRock. So we'll see where BlackRock comes in. I'm guessing they'll be positive here. And yeah, that is it. That's all I got for you guys here. Like I said, it's like the low days, the end of the month here. Usually it's kind of, low as far as information wise. Low news as well for these guys here. So we're just going to take a quick look here at the miner stock performance over time. We're going to look at all the way back to when they bottomed out back in December of 2022, January 2023 here. And this is kind of what we have here, right? How have the miners done since then? Well, IREN's up 1,831%. That thing has outperformed everything here. Cypher's up 1,000% as well. Hut is up 533%. Bitcoin's up 527%. So those 3 companies have at least outperformed, or at least paired with Bitcoin here, more or less. But definitely Cypher and IREN have outperformed there. Cleanspark is up only 381%, along with Marathon 365%. CORZ is up 308%. Riot 306%. Bitfarms 204%. Hive is only up 86%. And BitDeer, they weren't trading at that point, so that there's 0 there, I think. Or they're at least flat on it. Looking at the price from the beginning of last year, so January 2024, CORZ Scientific is up the most from that time frame, 308% here. IREN's up 238%. Bitcoin's up 132%. Those 2 have outperformed. Hut 8 is up 105%. Cypher 72%. BitDeer 45%. Cleanspark is down 11%. Riot down 11%. Marathon's down 30%. Hive is down 35%. And Bitfarms is down 54%. So if you bought into any of these guys down here towards the end at that time frame, beginning of the year in 2024, you're probably not going to be happy right now, right? And yeah, I would not blame you at all right now on that. If we look at from the beginning of the second half of 2024 here, we still have basically Hive being in the red, right? 11% down, Marathon down 29%, Cleanspark down 45%, Bitfarms still down 51% from there. IREN is up 82%. Hut is up 69%, Bitcoin's up 66% here, Cypher's up 50%, Core up 42%, Riot up 37%, and BitDeer up 22% from the second half of 2024. So we do have some miners that have at least outperformed Bitcoin here a little bit here. And then from the beginning of the fourth quarter here for last year, IREN has had a nice run. It's up 197%. So if you bought in right around there, you're doing pretty good here. Hut 8 up 124%, Cypher up 98%, Riot up 93%. BitDeer is up even 86%, and Bitcoin's down, not down. It's up only 72% roughly. And then there's a huge gap here, or disparity between some of the other miners here, like CORZ Scientific's only up 19%, Cleanspark up 12%, Marathon up 5%, Hive is actually down 3%, and Bitfarms down 34%. So again, depending when you got into these guys, you're probably not happy at that point. Price from the beginning of this year wise, we can see IREN is doing really good, 119% gains. Cypher 47, Riot 30%, Hut 8 18, Bitcoin's only up 8%. That's measly, right? Historically, we would have better gains here, so I think the big guys are controlling Bitcoin more than anything nowadays. They're gonna just control it slowly to the upside here. We kind of knew the percentage gains were going to be going down as the value of Bitcoin goes up as well. So we're going to see lower percentage gains, but we're going to see higher values go up anyways, right? Just the way it works in math. Cleanspark's up only 2.43% here from the beginning of the year. CORZ is down 3%. Hive is down 7%. Marathon is down almost 8% there. Bitfarms is down 19.25%. BitDeer is down 43% from the beginning of the year. So those guys have not rebounded from the lows there that we had. And then price difference from Trump tariffs here. So this is where a lot of these guys bottomed out right around April 2nd through April 8th, I think it was, or April 9th of this year. We kind of bottomed out there on all of these guys here. And we can see that Bitcoin is only up 26% from then. And the only miner that has underperformed here, as you guys are probably well aware, is Cleanspark being up only 20% there. Everybody else has outperformed here since then. Marathon being up 27, BitDeer up 36, Bitfarms 51%, Core up 66, Riot up 70%, Hive 77, Hut 8 is up 93%, Cypher 168%, and IREN is killing it with 240% gains here from the bottom in April here. So, I mean, the good news is that these guys are outperforming Bitcoin here, at least recently, which is more what I would expect as we get into a bull run here. Maybe we still see a bull run in Bitcoin, in this end of this quarter that we're in and the fourth quarter that we are going to be going into as well, where Bitcoin is definitely, I think, going to go up. Whether it's going to be 150,000 to 200,000, whatever it might be, somewhere in the middle there, maybe. We'll find out, but I think the miners will outperform here. Question now is, can Cleanspark still outperform? And I think it can, right? Marathon, same thing. I mean, Marathon and Cleanspark are not too far away from each other, and these guys are the last holdouts for HPC AI, basically. And that's a result of them being on the bottom there, I think, as well. So that is it. That's the performance on these guys here right now as things stand. I'm still optimistic. I'm still positive on things going to get better for us here. It's just going to take some time, as always. So like I always preach, patience, right? You got to be patient. You got to know what you're in. You got to know what you're holding. So as long as you have placed your bets and you dollar cost average into these bets, you should be doing pretty good, right? I told you guys yesterday I'm still up like 180% on IREN as it is because I dollar cost average into it. On Cleanspark, I'm still up 80% roughly. I think 75% today with it coming down a little bit. So it's right around 75% gains on that one. I'm not giving up on those. Cypher's up nicely as well for me. It's like 35-40% up already from when I got into it just a couple weeks back. The only one that's still underperforming is Marathon. I'm only up now maybe 6% on that one. That one I'm thinking about selling. And then Bitfarms, I'm still down about 15% on that one right now. So it's not that bad as it was. I was down almost like 50-60% on it, and when it bottomed out at like 60-some cents here earlier this year. So that's an improvement. So we'll see where those all go. I'm still optimistic. I'm still positive on these things. It's wearing on us. I know it's wearing on us right now as it is. The good thing is my portfolio is growing, mainly because of IREN, but it's growing, right? So that's always a good sign, at least there. And WGMI has been doing really good for me as well. If you guys own WGMI, that thing is in my retirement account. That thing has done tremendously for me. I got lucky. I got in on that one pretty close to the bottom of the cycle back in 2023. In January, I started really moving stuff into that one. And that one is up like over 300% on that one. So I'm really happy with that performance there. So that's going to be a nice retirement when I do retire eventually here. But I'm still holding on to that one as well. All right, so that is it. Spreadsheets, I'll make this available, obviously to you guys on the Patreon side. Link for that is down in the description if you want to join there. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Let's get into Q&A here. We'll be a pretty short video maybe. All right, let's get into it here. As always, questions, if you guys could preface those with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And always, as always, be kind in the comments, right? All right, let's see what we got here. As always, I'm going to scroll up on the comments, see if there's any questions there, and we'll cover any of those that are there. Let's see. Para says Bitfarms has legs. Cleanspark, on the other hand, has been a dog. Yeah, it has been. Even though, right, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they got 12,500 of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. A great balance sheet as it is. No dilution over probably the last 9 months or so, since November of last year. And they've grown to 50 exahash, and they're looking to grow some more here. So it's like, they're doing all the right things in Bitcoin mining. They need to lower their costs, I think, a little bit on the electricity side, but I think that's doable. You can possibly negotiate something there, maybe. We'll see. But the big thing has been this year, I would say maybe even a year and a half, has been all about HPC AI. And they didn't partake in that. They are kind of partaking in it now. So maybe that will help reverse the stock price here going forward. We'll see. All right. Zarmelon says Bitfarms is $1.30. That's terrible. What legs? It's actually been gaining up here recently. Just looking at the chart here as well, you can see that recently it's been doing better. All right. Mortem says, if you look at interest rates policy in the last cycle, it was all about rates beginning to end. Hybrids perform better because they have the potential to be free of Bitcoin cycle. That is true. Yeah. You have more... not profit. Well, maybe more profitability, but also you have that confidence in what you're going to be generating, month over month over month over month, year after year as well. Okay. Sadie, thank you as always for the thumbs up. Okay, John's got a question here. Can you give a high to low range for Bitcoin through September? Unfortunately, I believe we go to 100,000. I don't know if we're going to go that low. We're not too far away from it right now as it is. We're at 113, 112 on Bitcoin. I think there's some supports that are a little bit higher than that as well. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick. There it is. Okay. So let's take a look at the chart here. We're basically at 111,000 right now, 112, 113, whatever it is right there. I think we got some support right around here, which would be 108, which is kind of where we bounced off of there. And then we also have some supports, it looks like right around 105 maybe. And then if we go down to 100,000, well, I mean, there's not much of a support here unless we go further back. Even at that point, there's not that much. I think there's probably somewhere 103,000. You probably see that more. But yeah, I don't think we'll go that far down. I could be wrong, though. Right now, I think it's just the low days of summer, basically. And then maybe once we get into September here, people getting back from vacations and things like that, we'll start pumping back up on Bitcoin here. We'll see on that one. Time will tell. All right. Let's see, talk about that one. Okay, Morton. Question, if you know Kush, he just charted Cleanspark and came up with $136 for Cleanspark. What Bitcoin price is he looking at? Because, I mean, that would be awesome, but I think that's very, very overly aggressive as well. 136, that would be maybe $13.06. Okay. I think there should be at least that, then some, but 136, that seems really high to me. All right. Let's see. John says, hopefully miners continue to front run Bitcoin as I own Cypher, Bitfarms, BitDeer. I took your cue as you've been on serious roll. Congrats. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, so Morton's saying, talking about Kush there. Of course, he is usually wrong about everything. Okay, yeah, that does seem overly optimistic there on that one even. I had them at, when I was really, really bullish, and I was thinking things are going to play out the same as they have in other cycles. I had Cleanspark at like $60, right? That was kind of my top there where I was thinking they could possibly get to. Right now, I think we could still possibly get to like 30 some dollars, maybe even higher than that, depending where Bitcoin goes though. All right. JR, let's see. Sorry, that one. Where is the confidence of BTC at 180, 200 coming from? Biggest moves this year have been like 10% at a time. At this rate, I just don't see any possible path to double. It's so far away. Thoughts? Rate cuts. I think rate cuts is the one catalyst that will possibly propel this up higher, faster. Right now, we've been kind of languishing. We've had hopes and dreams of rate cuts coming in earlier this year, but those never played out, and Bitcoin has done what it has done here. The other part of it is also the M2 money supply. We've been seeing that go up here, so if this trend continues with Bitcoin going or following the M2 supply, that could also be a good move there. So, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we're up only, 8% so far this year? That hasn't been so far great, so we definitely need a nice run up here. Okay. All right. Sour says, I could see IREN getting to 100 if they keep playing their cards right. If they get a deal for HPCI, I think they can double from here, from where they are. So roughly, we're looking at maybe $50. For them to get to $100, you're going to need, obviously, Bitcoin to go up much higher, 180,000, 200,000, whatever it might be. That might get them to close to, I think, maybe $70 at that point. And you're probably going to need another deal on top of that to get them to $100, maybe next year, right? But Bitcoin's got to obviously stay up there as well. Okay. Flame says, question, wouldn't Cleanspark have the most to gain from a huge BTC pump to 200,000? Plus, they are the only pure play miner, so other wouldn't benefit as much from parabolic move, correct? And not necessarily, right? IREN's got 50 exahash as well. Mara's got 50 exahash as well. Right? IREN has a better cost for electricity than Cleanspark does. And you would think if Bitcoin goes to 200,000, these guys would run up nicely here because they're going to be generating at that point probably close to 1.4, 1.5 billion annual run rate in revenue on the Bitcoin side itself. So that should be rewarded to a certain extent, but we'll see if that happens actually. But I would agree, I would think that they would be doing pretty good there. But I think IREN could also benefit from that greatly because they have low cost of power. 50 exahash for them is going to be the same thing. They could be 1.4 billion and their profit margins could be at like 85% at that point or something like that on Bitcoin mining. So something to keep in mind as well. Okay, Bitchin82's got a question here. As BTC becomes more widely adopted, I suspect it will trade more similar to how gold does, react more to other market dynamics, inflation rates, wars, etc. Will this lead to less dramatic moves up and down? I believe so. We're kind of seeing it already play out a little bit as Bitcoin has gotten over 100,000. But we're not seeing those huge gains of 30, 40%, 50% in a month. We're seeing more muted gains already on that. But the price is obviously going up higher because of where Bitcoin price is at. So I do think that's going to happen. Eventually, once Bitcoin gets to like, $1 million per coin or something like that, we're going to see, 1%, 2% gains a month maybe or something like that at that point, if that. All right, Bitchin82's got a question. Sorry, I missed George's question here. George has a question. Where is the confidence of... see, 100 coming big moves in this year. Okay, I already talked about that one. I already covered that one already. All right, Bitchin82's got another question here. Said, if IREN grows HPCI in-house and or gets a deal for the bulk of their gigawatts, they will be multiples of today's price. Think core weave. Yeah, you got to basically get, if they get all of their 2 gigawatts and then whatever they have, I'll just say the 2 gigawatts they have available for 2026 and 2027. If they get contracts for that, then yes, they could be definitely multiples from where they are right now. I'm saying if they get just a little, not even a little, I'm just saying if they get a deal for like 300 to 400 megawatts from somebody right now, right, is the stock going to go to $200 or plus that? I don't think so. You're going to need another deal on top of it, right, to pull it up even more at that point, I think. Yeah. NG asks, who's got basically Cleanspark fatigue? Pretty much everybody here. We can see it in the sentiment as well, and not only on X, we can see it here as well. People are kind of, fed up with Cleanspark here right now, which might be a contrarian view that we might have bottomed out here on Cleanspark. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Marcelo has buying Cleanspark every day. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that they're undervalued from where they really should be here. And we'll see where they go from there. Okay, and then we got another one coming in from Stefan. Let's see, Stefan, hopefully this pops in here shortly. There it is. Stefan asks, who is more undervalued right now, Cleanspark or Mara? I would say probably, they're both undervalued here. Let's see if we can maybe look at that on a more, let's see, what can we look at? Enterprise market cap, maybe? Would that help us out to see where things are at? Market price, enterprise. Let's see here. I think maybe just enterprise value, enterprise metrics. Okay, let's take a look at it here. Right, so it looks like they're pretty close to each other as it is. Current hash. This is based on current hash rate. So enterprise value per exahash EV equals market cap plus debt minus cash minus HODL. So I'm taking out their HODL here. We're just looking at their hash rate there as it is. Cleanspark is getting valued at about 40 million right now for the current hash rate. Marathon at 46 million. Right, so not too far behind that. If we look at future hash rate growth, Cleanspark is getting to like 60 exahash plus. Marathon 75 exahash roughly by the end of the year here. So they're pretty close to each other right now as it is. I would say based on that, I think they're both pretty undervalued from where they really should be here. If we look at them individually here really quick as well, we can see Mara here. Go up top here really quick. Mara's market cap, I think this is prices as of yesterday. I didn't update these today. So Mara had a 5.8 billion market cap here. Their BTC value is 5.6 billion, right? So they're not being valued on their operations, or they are being valued on operations, not their Bitcoin HODL here. However way you want to take a look at it, but HODL is 96% of their market cap there as it is. So as far as current assets, if we add those into it as well, if we go down here, latest assets that they had here, current assets, I'm not talking about all, but they had about 236 million in current assets. Total assets was 7.7 billion there, and that includes obviously the HODL there. So I'll just say 2 billion of that is their assets, but they also have liabilities of about 2 billion, right? Total long-term liabilities of 2.9 billion and everything. So 7 take away 3 more or less, or 8 take away 3, we're looking at 4 billion. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is with them on that one. I think Bitcoin going up will help them out as well. I think they should be somewhere between $19.41 and $29.11. If we look at July numbers for them, multiply that times 12 going forward. They're currently at 15, so I do think they're undervalued here. Cleanspark, I think, is more undervalued, though. We can see Cleanspark has a market cap of 2.7 billion. Their BTC HODL is 1.4 billion, so they're getting valued a little bit on their operations as well, right? I mean, their current estimated run rate is about 928 million there. It's kind of a low multiple. They're getting basically like a 3x multiple on their revenue at that point. And their current assets, if we look at those guys as well, let's see, total current assets was 3.1 billion. So they're even their assets, their market cap is under their assets right now. Total liability is only 1 billion. So take that out more or less. And yeah, they should be valued much higher here on those operations. They should be somewhere around 24.78 to 37.17 based on just their operations. So it is what it is, though. They're not getting love. They're not in HPCI. Same thing with Mara. And with Cleanspark getting more possibly into HPCI, that should help out as well. We don't know what that is going to be. We don't know what kind of sites they have, everything else. But we know that they are working towards it. So we need more information from them, I believe. That would definitely help out, I think. And maybe we'll get that in next month's update when they provide update for August operations. Maybe we'll hear something. We'll see. All right, let's go back here. Let's see. All right. Sarah Mellon says yes. Cleanspark's more undervalued there. More Tim. Why do you think Matt Schultz has not uttered a word after Zach getting tossed out? Well, they've been friends for a long time, right? Or at least I think they were friends for a long time since, 2014, whenever they started the company there together, I think. So I'm sure it wasn't easy for him, for whatever reason Zach left, whether he was ousted out or he left on his own accord. I don't know if we'll ever find out, but, right, that can't be easy. Let's see here. George is saying Mara's trading below HODL. A little bit above HODL, at least from what I'm seeing here, my math at least. Bitch82. I see both Hive and IREN developing HPC AI services, which is more full stack than CORZ, Wolf, etc. Will these lead to higher multiples? That I don't know. There's also more costs associated with it as well. And then what is the ROI time frame on those GPUs? Right? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? How long does it take for you to get your ROI back on those? We don't know. The only thing I do know on that is last year, Dan Roberts from IREN was saying originally the GPUs that they got, the H100s, I think they were looking at maybe 2 years ROI, and then a couple months later they came out saying it looks like it's going to be like 2.5 to 3 years potentially on some of these things here. So I don't know. Right, there's obviously more costs associated with building out those data centers as well. And if you don't have a customer to help fund that, you're basically on the hook on that for yourself. So that's going to be costly there. Bitchin's got another question here. Are hodlers and maybe even treasury companies being devalued in favor of ETFs? Mark, Cleanspark, MicroStrategy, etc. performing poorly recently. Miners developing alternative business are doing better. It does appear that way. All right, I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing MicroStrategy or Strategy now. They basically peaked last November, right around $540 or so, and at that point I said that they're way overvalued. They should probably come down. Their MNAV was out of whack, and sure enough, they came back down. They've been buying Bitcoin like crazy here even this year. I mean, tens of thousands of Bitcoin being purchased, and the stock is still where it's at. It's actually down from where it's been. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the HODL is not as well. MicroStrategy, and the other part of it is it has, preferred shares, regular shares, some other shares, his sister's shares, who knows, right? There's just so many shares in there that there's so many ways to get into a strategy if you wanted to. And there's some probably shares that are better than others. So maybe that's having an impact on it as well. As far as Cleanspark and Mara, I think it's them being pure plays, having a huge HODL as well. Maybe that doesn't, maybe that's not the most advantageous way to go, maybe. But I think if Bitcoin goes up and you can use those funds, I don't know if Mara's going to use any of those HODL position ever. I know CleanSpark will probably use some of it, but the theory, at least that I've had always, has been that if you can HODL at a low price and then sell at a much higher price, you're going to be less likely to dilute your shareholders, where you can then fund the growth for the next phase of Bitcoin, right? When we have the halving event in 2.5, 3 years, whatever it's going to be now. So that's always been my thought. I thought that'd be a good way to do it, but maybe it's not. So we shall see. Okay, Megan Khan asks, what is the fair value of Hive if 18 exahash is reached? At that point, depending where Bitcoin's at. So Bitcoin goes down, it's going to be where it's at right now, more or less, price-wise. Bitcoin does go up as well. They should be higher valued at that point because they'll be generating more revenue because of it. And then hopefully that also lowers their overall cost to mine Bitcoin, which would be nice to see as well. And just got a question. Seb, in your view, which miner is best positioned when it comes to AI infrastructure? There's so many variables in that. I think IREN might be the best position there. Cypher obviously has some great sites as well. I think those two are probably the best out of the bunch there. BitDeer also has some potential. They're talking about the site in Ohio. But TeraWolf was kind of out of the left field there with the announcement of FluidStack and Google backing. But the site location might be also a reason for it there. So are the sites in Texas good sites and in-demand sites? I don't know. It's usually you want to be close to metropolitan areas. And the East Coast obviously has a lot of people there, right? Majority of the country is like in the East Coast there, like around the 13 original colonies and things like that. That's where majority of people are. So, I don't know. But I think now that, I can't say now because you never know if TeraWolf could get another deal there. But I would think with the megawatts and everything else, it would be IREN and Cypher there. Sorry, I had a sneeze coming up. Allergies are starting to kick in again for me. Sorry, Melon says the market clearly sees no value in BTC mining, only HPC. It appears that way, yeah. Okay, I talked about that. Angie says HPC is the future. I think Bitcoin also plays a role in that as well, because Bitcoin, you can shut those machines off. You can be a provider to the electrical grid. Use it when the demand is not high. Shut it off when demand is high. You can play a role there, I think. So I think that there is also a role for that. VJ Vlogs asks, what's your top miners till date? Top 3 miners to buy right now, undervalued. I think CleanSpark's definitely on there. I would say Hive as well, and Bitfarms as well. But again, Bitfarms, it's going to be around HPCI potential there. We still need Riot to sell out all their shares that they have in Bitfarms. I'm hoping it's going to be done by the middle of September, that they're completely out of Bitfarms at that point. That should help. Bitfarms is buying back shares. They're not growing their Bitcoin mining at all, and they're trying as best they can to get a deal for HPC in their Pennsylvania site. So maybe that one will do well. Hive is growing great to 25 exahash here. It should go up. My only concern, like I've said before, is that they don't have any operations in the United States. I don't know if that's going to be a detriment to them, right? So keep that in mind there. Cleanspark, also way down there from where it should be. Can they get the love, though? And maybe with them trying to get into HPCI, maybe that helps them out. I don't know. But I'm still along on that one. All right. Mortem says, has anyone noticed IWM starting to break out? Also, ARC, they are very rate sensitive, and they seem to be sniffing out rate cuts. Okay. IWM, you're talking about the Russell 2000 there, I think it is. Okay. Opportunity 2, HPC AI is a business to provide profits. BTC is a method to store those profits until you have a use. Yeah, you could buy Bitcoin at that point and hold it until you have a use for it. Yeah, you could play it out whatever way you want. D. Royce, Cleanspark is way behind everyone else. I don't know if their future increases will be better than those already in AI. I don't know that either, right? Nobody knows that. We'll have to see what they give us as far as information on their HPCI ambitions, and then we'll have to see where Bitcoin goes. So we'll see. Question, who is currently more undervalued, Cleanspark or Hive? Again, like I said, Cleanspark is in the United States, right? I think they should be double from where they are right now already as it is. Hive, on my numbers here, let me see where I have Hive right now as it is. With their numbers, they probably should be up higher too as well. But can they get the love from investors without having any operations in the United States? That I don't know. So that's a big question there for them. Mortem says, watch the Tom Lee interview on the Compound and Friends. He thinks we are entering into a new multi-year bull based on productivity and rates. I think it's just more so on the adoption than anything else. But, we have the same opinion where we both think that we're going into an extended cycle here. He came in at it a different way. I came in at a different way. But I think we have the same mindset there. All right. Daryl says, miners will pump over the next 3 weeks. I hope that is the case there. JR question, if you're up 203% on IREN, 30% Cleanspark, down 40% on Bitfarms, and 20,000 lost on Penny Dreadful Mawson, net positive position, 40%. What's your strategy heading towards the end of the year? Asking for a friend. So you're you're similar to what I have, right? I'm up about 180% on IREN right now as it is. Cleanspark, I'm up about 75-80% right now, down about 15% on Bitfarms. So I'm kind of the same boat as you are. I didn't lose any money though on like Mawson or anything like that. I would say this is just what I'm doing, right? So you do what you have to do. I'm holding on. We'll see where we get by the end of the year here. We'll see how Bitcoin does later on in the next couple months here. We basically have what? September, October, November, December. We have 4 months left to go basically in the year. So we'll see where it goes. I'm holding on, and I'm thinking that maybe with the rate cuts and everything else, we should have a nice spike in price action on Bitcoin and the miners potentially as well. So I'm just holding on to it. And then at that point, we'll start looking at selling. All right. Karan's got a question here. What do you think of the conservative prices of Game, Bitfarms Galaxy, Bit Digital, Hut 8? Okay. Game, I don't know. I don't really track them that well, so I don't know where they should be. But they're obviously in the Ethereum's treasury play there as well. Bitfarms, I think they should be higher. But they should be probably around $3 right now as it is, maybe $3, $4. Galaxy, again, I don't track them that much, so I don't know. They obviously have other business lines. They also obviously have the deal with CoreWeave there. So those, I don't know about those, to be honest with you. Bit Digital transitioned into an Ethereum holding company as well. I think they're pretty well priced right now as it is. Hut 8 could possibly go up higher from where it's at right now, given that they are building out the 1.5 gigawatts of development energy right now. So they could do well on that. They all are also not really divesting, but they're putting all their Bitcoin mining in with American BTC. That's going to look better on their balance sheet there. Maybe that helps them out. I don't know. So I think Hut 8 is also pretty well priced as it is right now. All right. Let's see. Bitcoin 2GR. I have been selling covered calls, and IREN premium is very nice at 30 and 35 from to run, and takes a bit of profit doing this on 20% of my position. Okay, nice. All right. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, tomorrow IREN's reporting. Obviously, we'll see what they report. I'm really looking forward to that one. I want to see what goes on there. And are they still that bullish on getting a contract by the end of the year here with somebody potentially here? So that'll be interesting to see on that one. And then we'll cover anything else that happens as well. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Appreciate you guys coming in as always. Love you all. Have a great night. And we'll be back at tomorrow. Until then.